Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and amidst this controlled demolition of crypto and probably more the economy at large, this comes out. Bank of America survey, 91% of respondents still intend to buy crypto in the next 6 months. Now I want to make sure I mention something before I forget. Brad Garlinghouse for years now has said that I don't know the phraseology he used, but more or less 99% of crypto will go to zero. If it doesn't have utility, it'll go to zero. And we've always known that you can't have, the government's not going to have, and you're just not going to have thousands and thousands of these random coins, half of them being Ponzi schemes. You're not going to have that. So I'm not necessarily saying that it's a bad thing that I mean, there's no question to me that the government is literally what has intentionally brought, I think every once in a while the government brings the entire economy to its knees and then lets it build itself back up. I think that's what happened. I think that's a provable fact. And I don't think this time's any different. If you believe that for 15 plus years, the feds were printing money and did not know how this story would end, then I've still got my igloo in Georgia and it is, by the way, freaking hot right here. It's about, we're in the 90s at least right now. So my igloo in Georgia is still for sale if you believe that they didn't know how this story ended. I believe they knew, and I believe they're intentionally tanking the economy and folding it into what's going to be the real digital economy. Not this fake Bitcoin, Ethereum, proof of work stuff that doesn't work. I'm talking about the stuff with utility that actually works. Okay, which is why if the market wants to give me the greatest digital asset ever created at a heavy discount, so be it. XRP dip bought. I'm not getting off this train until we see the real price. And I made one other point I wanted to drive home, and that is, think of this. Imagine that Bill Hinman, instead of having his secret closed-door meetings with Joseph Lubin, of all people, imagine if he had them with Brad Garlinghouse. What would the all-time high of XRP be by now if he had secret meetings with Brad Garlinghouse the way he did with Joseph Lubin and gave XRP, which actually works and has utility? Remember, Joseph Lubin himself will tell you, he said it on video, that proof of work was a prototype. It never did work. He knew it wasn't going to work. He knew the whole plan was they were going to have to put out 2.0 as proof of stake. In other words, behind closed doors, gets with Bill Hinman, gets a free pass, boxes out all of other crypto. Imagine what the price of XRP, which always has worked. You don't have to have XRP 2.0. It's always worked. Imagine if that had been the free pass. You know, one thing that drives me crazy is when I see these people, oh, well, it's very obvious that Bitcoin and Ethereum are the major digital assets. They've got 60% market share. They only have 60% market share because of this shady operation that went on at the SEC with Bill Hinman. It's the only reason. You take the clarity that Bitcoin and Ethereum, the fake clarity that Bitcoin and Ethereum were given, you give that to the entire market, and you wouldn't even know the name of Bitcoin and Ethereum at this point because there's so many technologies that are better, and they know it, and that's why they did it. Now, moving along, Brad Garlinghouse yesterday was commenting on what occurred in the markets yesterday. It's a great write-up. Days like today are never what you hope to see, especially in an industry with as much incredible talent as crypto. If you recently joined the industry and you haven't seen a downturn like this, know that this too shall pass. Advice from someone who's seen a few downturns over the years. That sounds familiar. I've said that a few times. It's never easy. But there are a few key reasons why Ripple has weathered the cyclical bear markets. as we will do here, continue growing. One, having an experienced exec team. I'm struggling this morning, folks. I'm going too fast, I think. Having experienced executive team that has been through the dot-com bubble, 2008 financial crisis, 2018 crypto winter, and more. I've been through them too. Focusing on the long term, Ripple is building enterprise products with long-term utility, not speculation. These are products that solve problems today, not ones in search of a problem. FYI, Q2 ODL volume well over $1 billion, already surpassed its target 3 weeks before end of quarter. Operating with transparency as a holder of XRP, we believe that communication and transparency, including our quarterly markets report, are key to being a responsible stakeholder. We've been asking for regulatory clarity for years and been upfront about what isn't working. Paying attention what's happening now is not a small market gyration. We've been preparing for this with a significant cash balance. They've got about $1 billion. We've seen him say it before. And thus can afford to keep hiring the best talent with a goal of 50% outside the U.S. The market is likely going to shrink in the near term, but I and many others have every ounce of confidence that crypto will succeed in the future as an integral part of our global financial systems. Slow and steady wins the race. He's so right. And then we had this. Now, this is Brian Brooks on CNBC, okay? I'm not going to play you this clip because I added this clip to a clip of Brad Garlinghouse. I'm going to play you that clip just to tell you to keep your eye on the ball because Ripple is sitting on $1 billion cash. Watch this.
And I've been saying for 2 or 3 years now that in crypto, a lot of the projects you see going on here are going to go to zero. But there are Amazon.coms in there somewhere, right? Things, you know, the major protocol layers, the significant network technologies, those are going to make it out here stronger than ever 2 years from now. But things are going to get shaken out now. The scams, the charlatans, the easy money guys, those people are going to get shaken out in the next 6 months, and you're starting to see that now.
And I think Ripple is in a position that I compare to Amazon circa 1997, or Amazon at those ages, which you and I will remember, it wasn't Amazon, it was Amazon Books. The name of the company was Amazon Books, and it competed with Borders and Barnes & Noble. Today, obviously, it does lots of things. I think of Ripple, our first vertical, the Books is to cross-border payments for Ripple.
All right, now, so folks, I'm just telling you, don't forget about Link2, because Link2 is one of the only places that Ripple shares are available, that have been available, and these guys are being very aggressive with some great specials that they're running. Link2 first-time investors, first-time Link2 investors only receive $1,000 in XRP with any first investment with a $5,000 minimum. Download app, make your order, complete your accreditation, fund your order. So this one expires today, actually. Today is the 14th, isn't it? Yeah. So I'll put the link to this in the top of the description of this video. They're my sponsor, but I own Ripple equity. I own Link2 equity on their platform. I own Uphold equity. So anyway, and then last night, in the midst of all of this chaos, Brad Garlinghouse doesn't look worried. He's at a Warriors game. So I saw this going around last night. Good stuff. The Road to the US Dollar PDF by Harvard from Riz XRP. Check this out. Stellar XLM and Ripple XRP. They do a whole write-up about how Stellar is much faster, cheaper, and more energy efficient than typical blockchain backed systems like Bitcoin and Ethereum. Admittedly, due to its protocol consensus algorithm, it's super fast and more amenable to transfer payments than Bitcoin. Well, if you can't take it from Harvard, then where can you take it, folks? All right, now this, I'm telling you, folks, this is a controlled demolition of the economy. They knew that they could not do this forever. That now they're in a spot. And the Fed is they're talking today. They're talking about announcing I'm not going to play this video. 75 basis point increase at the conclusion of its 2-day meeting. And then this is from Michael at VAL5 Links. JP Morgan, Goldman economists now expect Fed to raise rates by 75 basis points. Folks, this is what's tanking everything, not just crypto. But if you prepared with a lot of cash, these are awesome, in my opinion. These are awesome buying opportunities. I bought yesterday myself. Bought some XRP and one other thing I'm not going to mention. Okay, now remember, and I tweeted this out last night, remember this in the coming days, the people who engineered this controlled demolition planned this long ago. This is Rahm Emanuel. You never let a serious crisis go to waste. And what I mean by that is it's an opportunity to do things you think you could not do before. Well, it's important that I point out to you that all of these people are in the same freaking club. Gary Gensler thinks just like this guy. And how do I know? Well, this is the Vanity Fair WHCD 2011 after party. That is Rahm Emanuel right there. There's Gary Gensler at the same party. These people are all the same people. They use the same tactics. They know exactly what they're doing. And then we've got this from Eleanor Terrett. Scoop. Industry sources with knowledge of the matter tell me the SEC has sent letters to several crypto exchanges inquiring about a lack of insider trading safeguards. Almost as if Gary Gensler had those letters on the shelf waiting for a crisis not to let go to waste. And then there's this. What has Gary Gensler been harping on? DeFi and well, you know, lending is a security. It's pretty clear. It's very clear, right? Unless, of course, you're doing lending on Ethereum. Well, listen to what this guy says on CNBC this morning.
I don't see it going away. You don't think 5 years from now we just say, "Wow, that tulip bulb mania is totally gone"? It's here to stay.
Not of the slightest doubt. Bitcoin.
That's what I said.
In other words,
but the other crypto stuff, the stable coins,
the majority are
different story.
The majority are going to go away.
Think about what Gary Gensler has been saying. We have to regulate stable coins, DeFi, unless of course it's on Ethereum. Stable coins, DeFi. Now listen to what this guy says.
It's like they're technology stocks. There's some really great innovations. There's going to be some Googles. There's going to be some, exactly. We've seen some eToys and Cosmo.com in digital assets. We've seen a few implode in the last month, a few implode in the last 48 hours. And that's going to be the case.
I think what we didn't realize was how
different.
much was leveraged in so many of these things. How many people were kind of borrowing to make some of these trades too.
Well,
that's become a little more clear.
It was hidden in plain sight. That is DeFi. So DeFi was, hey,
isn't it a perfect setup? CNBC's carrying the exact narrative that they need them to carry.
Have this coin, I'm going to stake it, I'm going to get a yield, I'm going to get a liquidity token when I stake it that's going to represent that yield. Now I'm going to take that liquidity token, I'm going to stake it somewhere else, I'm going to get a yield. In other words, it was borrowing on borrowing on borrowing.
Right.
This is why the whales are hidden, folks. This is why the Ethereum free pass was not just to call it a commodity. It was for token. It was to have a money printing machine, the same money printing machine that JP Morgan and the Rockefellers and all those people created in that boardroom at Jekyll Island 100+ years ago. The same money printing machine is why they disguised the whales and then took Ethereum and created this. And now, what are they doing? They've got Gary Gensler. Now he's going to go after who's going down. You don't see Ethereum going down. You don't see anything Ethereum related going down. What you're seeing go down is companies like Celsius or Luna. Anything that's non-Ethereum is what you're seeing go down. It's very obvious what's been done here. Now, and then you've got Senator Gillibrand and Loomis giving Ethereum the same free pass in their bill that was given to Ethereum by Bill Hinman, who we now know had all sorts of conflicts of interest. Now they're going to redo the free pass for Bitcoin and Ethereum in their bill. In other words, those two automatically get set aside. No, those are commodities. We've decided that they are. Well, Senator Gillibrand and Loomis, they're going to have to do that with this hanging around their neck.
A great deal of this is going to the SEC. Most cryptocurrencies go to the SEC. The particular Bitcoin and Ether would be certainly commodities, and that's agreed upon. That's agreed with Chairman Gensler as well as the chairman of the CFTC.
Let's describe some crypto as securities. Which ones do you think of as securities?
It's pretty clear, and the Supreme Court has actually spoken about this many times. If somebody is raising money, selling a token,
start the Ether presale in a couple of weeks. So the Ether presale will be an opportunity for anyone to purchase Ether. Ether is the internal currency inside of the Ethereum system, sort of like the XRP and Ripple.
And the buyer is anticipating profits.
What we're hoping is that sort of similar to what happened with Mastercoin. If that slice is something like 20%, and then the value of Ether goes up by 5, then we basically have the entire initial BTC that we got all over again.
Based on the efforts of that group.
There's about 100 people that are working on Ethereum right now. Myself, leading the protocol design. We also have branding teams, we have marketing teams.
That fits into something that's secure.
All right, so you can see very obviously what the dealio is here, folks. And you look, before social media, and this is what's so bad about this. Before social media, Bill Hinman could have walked up there and he could have said, yeah, setting aside the fundraising, setting aside that Ethereum was created as a security, just like a lot of digital assets were, the ones we're going to go after, setting aside that, we think that now Ethereum's not a security. He could have said that, gotten away with it before social media, no problem. And then back in the 80s, he would have had 4 network television stations that would have carried the same narrative that CNBC is now carrying for this in our time. The problem is social media actually levels the playing field, and guess what? Here's the dirty little secret. People are not stupid. I know that the people in Washington and the people in New York think that the rest of us are stupid, but guess what? The fact that Joseph Lubin is being asked these questions about disguised whales on stage at Consensus tells you that we're not so stupid after all, because social media has leveled this playing field, and it's forcing liars to bend, okay? These liars would never, and trust you me, these people are freaking liars. It's forcing lies out into the open, and it's forcing this is what will ultimately, because this is bigger than just crypto, folks. This is forcing, it will force our government to sway back towards truth, away from lies and insider dealing and all of this sick stuff that is not in the best interest of my children or yours. And so it's a good thing. And we've been fighting the good fight, and I don't apologize for it. These people ought to be ashamed of themselves. And I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that we will continue to fight the good fight until we get the level playing field and a little bit, just a little bit of freaking honesty in our government, because we are surrounded by lies.